Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our advanced trainings on Thursdays. So, my name is Petra. If you are new here, you're more than welcome to join us. I always love new faces. When you join us, please pop up your camera so I can see your beautiful faces, so I don't feel like I'm really lonely talking to my black screen. Otherwise, you never know what I'll start talking about. So, when we are alone, we have really interesting conversations. At least I do. I have really fun with those conversations. Okay, so let me just pop my slides on so you have all the details. Bum, 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 bum. Good. Okay. So for those of you who are not, how are we saying, who are not speaking English or who would like to have this session translated into their own language, you're more than welcome to do that. All you have to do is either scan the QR code on the screen or download the Wordly app, and you choose the language you want this session to be translated into. So it says English here, but you choose the language that you want the translation to be in, and then you listen, for example, on your phone, and you watch me on your computer, unless you want to do multitasking at the same time on the phone. But you have this option to have this translated. Unfortunately, I used to speak 7 languages. Now everything is really, really rustic. I do understand a lot of it, but for these purposes, I will keep to English. Even that is sometimes my own language. I create on my own. For all the recordings and everything, even including today, recordings are always uploaded into YouTube channel from APAC Healy, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Love Essence Wellness. You can find all the recordings as well in my Facebook group, where you can ask me and anyone else questions. I try to be as, present in the group as much as I can, but you can always ask me additional things in there. And other people, there's so many beautiful people. We have over 2,200 members now, and there's a lot of beautiful, knowledgeable people that will support you and help you with their own experiences. And I'm posting the link into the chat box of this Zoom right now. So this is the link to the Facebook group, so you can actually access this if you wish to. Otherwise, you have locations, multiple locations where you can find all the recordings. Please do not message me directly to get the Zoom link access. You have the Facebook group, you have the Healy Facebook group, Asia and New Zealand, everything. So you get emails out. So please do not message me directly, because I will not respond to that. And that's okay. I understand you want the information, but I always post things into the group as well. And you get all the Zoom links and recordings, and you have emails as well that go out. So there's multiple locations you can find information. Yes, so today, I forgot to change the picture, but it's still okay. It works either way. So today we have environmental harmony with Healy. So environmental harmony with Healy can be looked at in so many different ways. Today, I actually wanted to give you some practical approaches. I know we've looked at a lot of theory and basics and all of that and giving you programs, but today I actually want to give you a practical approach on how to, create your own environment, if we're looking at it that. And don't worry, you'll get the slides. You'll also get I got the mini PDF for you just for what I actually created today. But before we literally dive into everything, of course, housekeeping is everything. So we know that although we love our Healys and the information field, is something that we experience. Unfortunately, current science that is evolved to the point that it is, which is changing, which is great. But currently, the existence of information field and the analysis and harmonization of it is not confirmed or acknowledged or recognized by current scientific evidence. So make sure that everything we do here, everything I say, everything we talk about, you take as only and all in the purpose only of the educational purposes. So your discernment, your personal responsibility is what is important for your body and for your life. And we're going to look at why today. This is crucial. Yeah, so nobody can live your life and nobody can make decisions and choices for you. They can give you the perspective, but they can't give you what's the most important thing for you. So you'll need to actually trust yourself and start exploring for yourself, as well as Healy MagHealy devices and everything that comes with it. It's not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent any disease or medical condition. Yeah, so I will not answer any medical questions at the end because I'm not a doctor. Yeah, and I can't give you anything that the doctor can. I can give you a lot of other things, but I can't give you what the doctor can. So make sure that you have your general practitioners or health practitioners that work with you, that you can trust them, and you get the right advice. Yeah, but Healy is not intended to do any of the cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose. Yeah. It's an amazing device, and after what 4.5 years now, I'm using it literally daily, and I am in love with it still since the day one. And it is a wellness device. It helps us create a balance in the body and creates an environment in the body in order for the body to heal, but it does not do the healing itself. Yeah, so you are the one doing the healing, and we're going to look at that today. Okay, of course, me being curious, like always, I would love to understand, how do you notice that your energy creates your life and that your surroundings affect your energy? So how does that affect you? How are you observing that in your life? How do you see it, feel it? How do you know that? Or do you know that? So pop that in the chat. Oh, there's so many things in the chat. I'll take a look. Hello from Germany. Thank you for sharing experience and knowledge. You're more than welcome. Thanks, Marie-Louise. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning to you too. Well, it's night here, so I'm happy to be here. Follow you from Italy. Italy, my neighbor country. I only regret not speaking English. Yeah. Well, I used to speak Italian. No, now I only understand it. And probably when I go back, I'm hoping to go back this year. Still. I have a lot of Italian friends. I have a lot of Spanish friends, and Slovenian friends speaking Italian. So they'll probably try to push me into speaking all the languages because it's been over 10 years since I've been here in Australia, and not using the language, you kind of forget it. Good translation is good. Thank you I have fans. I never thought I'll have fans. Thank you so much. I love you too, guys. It means a lot. Okay, so now answers are coming through on my question in the chat. So I guess you either have no idea how you're influencing your environment, or how environment influences your energy, or you have no idea that you are actually so powerful that you can create that in your environment, that you can actually create your reality. Or the other option would also be that you don't want to be creator of your own reality. Okay, pop that into the chat. Who wants to be a creator of their own reality? You have the power to actually create whatever you want in your life. Me. Cool, okay. Energy is around us and in our body. Every positive, negative thought, action result is positive, negative energy. Yes, that is true. And all of that influences our environment. I wish that too. Perfect, me too. Okay, it does light and color, noises, sounds. As soon as I wake up, I set my perfect. I love the intentions. You are so loved. Thank you. Oh, I love being loved. I love you guys as well. Mundo in tutorial. So beautiful. Never fail to attend it. But thank you. Everything is energy. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So let's learn how Healy can influence our environment, but more importantly, how we can influence our environment. Yeah, because we are creators, right? And environment can be anything. So let's look at environment first. So environment can be anything. It can be your thoughts, your thought environment, mental health. Yeah, it can be your emotional environment. It can be your physical environment. It can be nature environment. It can be work environment. It can be relationship environment. It can be your relationship with yourself. It can be relationship with others, which is literally the same. It can be different states of being. Those are also different environments. So we can look at environmental harmony with Healy in so many different ways. The way I wanted to look at it is I wanted to empower you, because now I know you a bit after 2 and odd years, almost 3. I know you from messages I get, and I'm not saying that that's all of you, yeah, but I know you from the messages I get, and I get plenty of them every day. And I can see how you're thinking, I can see how you're feeling, and I can see how you get stuck in your own ways. I can see how you are approaching your life, your emotions, your everything. I'm a curious person, and I'm a really good observer. And sometimes that can be scary for people. I get it, especially for people that are close to me. So, but I do it with love, not because I want to hurt anyone, but because I know and I believe in you that you are capable of more than you can see for yourself. And I really want you to be empowered, especially with Healy, because Healy is such a huge and important tool and a bridge to actually help you get to that reality that you want to, and to create an environment that you really, 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 really want to. Yeah. So today I want to give you a practical approach. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a bit of structure, and then we're going to get a practical approach, and then I'm going to show you do some scans, which is going to do practical scans. I'm not going to do specific ones, but you can, because we've done a lot of all the auras and coaching and all of it and how to read it. I'm just going to give you some tips on how to actually utilize the tools that you already have in order to create an environment that you really want. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Have fun. Okay, so your energy shapes your world. What does that mean? Your energy is who you are. Did you know that you're 99.9999999% space? Yes, you are. You literally are no matter. So your matter that you feel that you're physical does not exist. And it's a funny thing though. We think we are touching each other, but we're not. We're literally just, there's 2 atoms or atoms resisting each other, and that's what we feel as touch. And energy itself, it's a compound of different things. Your energy represents your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, and those create reality. And we're going to look at that how. So you're not just energy. Energy has specific elements. And until you understand those specific elements, you can't understand how you are creating your reality. Because we can say energy creates reality, frequency is everything, blah, 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 right? But if we don't understand it, how we can't integrate it, we don't actually shift anything. And that is on all levels. If you want to change your physical environment, if you want to change your health, if you want to change your finances, if you want to change your business, if you want to change relationships with yourself and others, anything you want. It exists in energy, and this is the blueprint. Yeah, we're going to look at the blueprint. So we know everything we experience starts first with our energy. So whatever we experience in our own space, yeah, let's look at ourselves as a bubble, yeah, with little body inside. But that little bubble is where everything starts. Everything that you see around you, everything that you experience outside of you, everything that you experience coming outside into you, everything starts with you. I know. You probably going to say, Petra said it's my fault. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have an empowered decision to make, to actually know that everything you experience around yourself, you have an ability to change it if you don't like it. And if you do, great, expand it. Yeah? So how we see things around ourselves, what we feel about them, how we act on them in the world around us is actually a reflection of our inner state. Yeah, so inner state is a compound of different things. And how we get to that inner state, I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you a small, simple blueprint. So the environment around you, yeah, no matter what you call it, your home, your work, your car, whatever you want to call it, the environment around you, your home, workplace, nature, even the people you interact with, constantly influence your energy field. So you're always influenced from outside, you're influenced by others. So when your energy, personal energy, and environment are in harmony, life feels easier, right? You notice new opportunities, you feel aligned, and your choices feel quite natural, like they feel in ease. But when your energy and environment are not in harmony, it feels heavy. It feels frustrating. It feels stuck and slow. And sometimes your choices might feel like life in that scenario, yeah? So everything is a war within you, war outside you. It's a mirror. So no matter, you can have two people looking in different states of energy, in states of being, looking at the same situation, and they will experience it differently. One that's in alignment and it's in flow and has a different frequency will experience that situation completely with ease. And the other one would see it as frustrating and then like somebody's attacking it or whatever. So those are different perspectives and different views and different experiences that we are the ones creating. So when your energy and environment are in harmony, we want to achieve the harmony. Yeah. So let's do a little practice. Let's do a practice. So close your eyes for me. Wherever you're sitting, it's going to be 3 seconds. So close your eyes, take a deep breath. Let it go. And just be aware of the environment that you have around you. Now, just feel into it. Do you feel in sync with your surroundings right now? Or do you feel like you're misaligned, like something's out? So just notice and tell me in the chat. Do you feel in sync? Like, are you in alignment or are you in misalignment? Pop it into the chat. Alignment 1, misalignment 2. Perfect. Misaligned. Okay. Aligned. Okay. Aligned. Perfect. Misaligned. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. I have 5 eager participants. Cool. Misaligned, aligned. Okay, cool. Great. So this is great practice. You started to notice your energy interacting with the environment and your environment interacting with your energy. This is a great start for you to start observing. Okay, now let's look at your environment. So we are bombarded from the environment all the time. Can we influence the environment? From this second right now, I can't influence you to make me do something, to make you do something. I can suggest it. But I can't really push you to do it, right? So instead of what majority of people do is trying to control everything outside of you and trying to control that person and trying to control that situation and trying to control everything around you so you get drained and depleted and, can't breathe anymore. The best thing is to protect your energy. Because the more you understand your frequency within your space, the more you protect your energy. I'm not saying build fortresses, create armies to protect yourself. No, it's how to become in tune with your own space and your own needs and your own way of being, so nothing from the outside can actually move you. In this, we teach boundaries. So I know we had boundaries before, but I really wanted to touch on this. So boundaries, when we are looking at the environment, are crucial. So boundaries are literally your energetic space. Your energy space that is strong, and when it is strong, you are the one controlling what is available in that energy space and what you allow in that energy space and what you don't allow. You are in control. So you can't control anything from the outside, but you are in control of your own space. That is important. Why? Because when we get triggered, when we have conflicts, when we live in the world of relationships, which can be in different shapes and sizes and different ways, whatever you want to label them, yeah? And I love people saying, I have everything toxic. Well, if you have everything toxic around your environment, maybe there's a way to look inside to see what's toxic inside. So everything outside of us is a great invitation to actually protect our space and decide what is going to be and what we're going to play. Imagine that this is like a little forest you have. Your space is a little forest, and you decide, and a garden, and you decide what flowers you're going to have in there. Are there flowers? Or is everything dead? Is there rivers? Is there birds? Or is everything black? You decide what is in your space. And if you decide what's in your space, are you going to allow me just to come into your garden and trample your flowers and pick them and pull them and, you know, do all the crazy stuff because I want to? Probably not. But you are allowing other people to do that with your boundaries. So it's really important to take care of our energy space. Why? Because boundaries are first energetics, because everything happens in energy. Then second boundary is an emotional. The third boundary is physical. So if you get triggered emotionally, somebody does something, you get triggered, you have no energetic boundaries. Yeah? And then of course you get to the physical space, which then you kind of explode and you can't breathe. So it's or you kind of contract and you don't know what to do. So it's really important to look at boundaries as your invisible edge of this little bubble around you, your little garden. And those boundaries actually determine what you absorb from environment around you and what you release into the environment. So if you have a beautiful garden, don't you think that every time you're going to meet someone, you want to give them a flower? And you want to smile to them and give them hugs and love them, right? Some of the people that you meet probably going to trample on that flower, but that's okay. Next time you're not going to give them the flower. You're just going to love on them and you're going to move on. So you're going to take care of your boundary. Yeah. Strong boundaries protect your vitality, help you maintain emotional balance, and prevent overwhelm. Why is that important? Because if you have no boundaries, you're going to come into a space like a workspace and you're going to leave drained, completely drained. So, or you're going to be in a home space where you don't have a space, or you have no boundaries, or you don't speak up, or you don't have a voice, or you have no space for yourself, or you don't create space for yourself. You're going to be drained. So that will influence your health and vitality. It will influence your emotional health, and it will feel overwhelming. That's where nervous systems get drained. That's why a majority of people have issues with nervous systems. Agitated, adrenal fatigue, hormone imbalances. You start with energy and then you move on to the physical. Yeah? Weak boundaries. If we don't have boundaries and we have weak boundaries, it's like having a Swiss cheese around you with lots of holes. Yeah, like big holes. So weak boundaries can leave you feeling drained, scattered, or emotionally reactive. So when you trigger and you kind of explode. Yeah? Anybody had that? Many times. Yeah? So it's really important to understand that no judgment is needed for the emotions that we're feeling and the behavior that we're doing. It's just, if we don't know better, we can't change it. Yeah? So guilt and shame don't work here. I'll give you a tip with creating all these boundaries for all these years, and it took me a long time to create them. Now my boundaries are really strong. To strengthen your boundaries isn't about shutting people out. So I'm not a fan of cancel culture. Yeah. So when people go, I don't like you, cancel you, get out of my life. Yeah. Of course, there are situations when we do need to move away from people, especially if they're threatening physically and all of that. But just shutting people out of your life just because you don't like something, you are depriving yourself and them for a great lesson of growth. So make sure you're not escaping and running away just because you don't like the situation. Because next time it will be 10 times worse. Just letting you know. So make sure that you actually take care of yourself. Have practices that can allow you to move through this and build the boundary. Okay, so your environment will influence you no matter what. So So you can't influence that. You can only influence yourself. And when you influence yourself, you're going to influence the environment. What do I mean by that? I mean by that is that the more you change frequency within yourself, the more you change your mental patterns, your thoughts, your emotions, you change the way you behave, the way you make choices, and you become a different person. So this space where you're being now, you're going to shift to a completely different space, and you're going to create a new environment around you, new people, new situations, new opportunities, new ways of being, and new experiences. And the people that might be here with you now, if they don't grow with you, they will leave. And it's okay that they leave. There's nothing wrong with you, hating on them. It's just sometimes we grow and we move, and sometimes they don't come with us. And that's okay. We love them, we send them hugs and love, and we go with compassion. Yeah, we understand where they are. Okay, do you want to try your boundary exercise? Give me a thumbs up if you want to try it. Okay, perfect. Cool. Wherever you are sitting, I want you to close your eyes. This is also so you can actually feel it more. Yeah, so when you actually do it in a physical, the more you do it, the more you're going to feel it. Yeah, so close your eyes, take a breath, and slowly release. Now I want you to just focus on your breathing, gently breathing in and out. And I want you to just visualize. Visualize like this beautiful bubble around you. No matter what color, go wild. Yeah, whatever you want it to be. It can be transparent, it can be gold, it can be whatever you want it to be. Yeah, it can be a absorbing bubble if you want it. Yeah, whatever you feel, it's actually yours. And I want you to actually just observe this bubble and just breathe. Naturally breathe in and out. Now I want you to pull up a memory, like a beautiful memory that fills your heart with love and joy and excitement, and something that happened to you in the past that actually really expanded your beautiful heart and made you warm. Now I want you to take your breath, and with each inhale, I want you to really expand that in your heart, that feeling. And then with exhale, I want you to breathe out that beautiful feeling of joy and love and peace, or whatever that motion is, into your bubble. And I'm going to leave you to do that for like 3 times. And I want you to observe what happens to the bubble. It could be that it becomes thinner. It could be it becomes bigger. It could be that it becomes stronger. It could be that all crumbles down. Whatever happens to the bubble, just observe it. And just breathe that beautiful energy of that beautiful memory into that bubble around you. Now I want you to slowly open your eyes and still breathing that beautiful memory and that beautiful emotion into your bubble around you. And I want you to observe if you feel anything around your body with your eyes open. If you don't, that's okay. But if you do, just observe what it is. Okay, take a deep breath in and exhale. You can open your eyes. Now, if you want to share in the chat, I would love to know what was your experience. So that little bubble is a natural bubble around you that you, with your normal eyes, open eyes, can't see, but it still exists. And that is your energetic boundary. So I want you to tell me what happened when you actually breathe into it, what changed and how it changed. Stronger, yes. Bigger and colorful, beautiful, love the rainbows. Bigger and vibrating, amazing. You can vibrate everyone out. Bubble got stronger, awesome. See how everyone has the same experience or similar experience. So to expand on my heart center, perfect. So we want to expand the heart center. So when we're practicing this, now this is a really simple exercise, and I do this with all my clients. Boundaries are so important. So this is an exercise that you can take with you. And every time you go into a space and you feel like you're kind of bombarded with things, close your eyes, bring that memory up that you had, yeah, just right now, like the memory that you chose, and start breathing out that beautiful energy around your space. You will start noticing something really, really strange. All of a sudden, either you'll have a lot of people wanting to talk to you and wanting to engage with you, or you have people moving away from you. So those are the effects that we do by just using our intention and breath. It's a free tool. You don't even need Healy to do that. You can just use your energy to move. So this is a step for you to actually start creating a personal space. So then when you actually start working on yourself and you can see the reflections in your environment, you can start utilizing other tools to actually go deeper. It was sort of a cocoon, very thin, expanding, and yet very elastic, flexible. That's what you want. Yes. So the only thing that I would, Aditya, the only thing that I would recommend is to actually practice more often so you can strengthen the thickness of the bubble. Yeah. So we need to understand that you don't need fortresses, but you need a strength of the bubble. Yeah. So the strength means that whatever penetrates through the energy membrane is we need that space around us in order to actually process the information that comes through. So make sure that you do this as a practice. Pulsing, perfect. Yes, so pulsating, you'll see vibrations coming out, and that means you are actually expanding that energy into the space around you. So the more you're actually doing this, the more you're going to influence others around you. Okay, perfect. Okay, now this looks really strange, but I'm going to give you all the information. This alone I can talk about for 2 hours. Yeah, so I'm just going to give you a really simple explanation of what this is. So now we understand that our energy influences our environment, and our environment influences our energy. But how do we now create a different environment if we are already in an environment that we don't want? So there's a process in energetics that we follow. It's a universal rhythm, yeah, of how reality is manifested. So at the top, so imagine like these funnels going one into another, yeah? So on the bottom of these funnels is where you live in 3D reality, your physical body. All of these in between are different levels of frequency, so different textures of frequency, yeah, different colors, different textures of frequency and vibration. And at the top, it's where the energy is at the speed of thought, yeah. So when we have the thought patterns at the top, which we call belief system, so a belief system, it's like a lens through which we see our reality. It's a collection of like core ideas, assumptions, and mental frameworks that we actually hold about ourselves as well as others. So because it's our lens through how we see the world, and it's often subconscious. And it actually shapes how we interact with others, how we see ourselves and how we talk to ourselves, and how we actually interpret experiences that actually happened around us in the world. So when somebody says you are late, do you interpret this as, oh my God, I'm a horrible person, I did it again, I'm late? Or you say, I'm so sorry, yeah, I take my responsibility. Yes, I know I went from home too late and I wasted your time. Yeah. So depending on how you see it, depending on your belief system, that's how you're going to respond. Yeah. And beliefs are actually learned. They're not innate. So we're not born. Partially we are, but 99% of it, we're not born with beliefs that we have today. So belief system actually gets formed. I know this is going to sound really strange, but it gets formed 3 months before conception of a child and up to 7 years of life. So when the child a conception happens, 3 months before, soul actually starts pulling in energies of the parents that it's going to be born with. And up to 8-7, children are actually on theta wave length, which means they're like sponges. They literally absorb everything. And up to age 7, all the belief systems are actually formed. This is what we call a ball of belief systems, is what we call ego. Yeah. So we need to understand that all the belief systems are formed through early experiences in childhood, our conditioning from parents and people that we are surrounded by, our personal experience when we're growing up, what we observe, and our social influence from people that we are surrounded with. And when we actually have thought repetitions and emotional repetitions, you know, when parents are telling us the same thing again and again and again, that's what reinforces the belief systems within us. So, and also what forms it as well is suppressed emotions. But suppressed emotions have come from, let's say, up to age 7, something happened, it was not processed, and we learned not to do something, and that formed a belief system. Yeah. So if, for example, something was created later on as an experience or emotion was suppressed, it came from an initial belief system that was created, you know, up to age 7. So we need to understand that all of that happens in a really small time frame of 7 years, and everything else we are literally just repeating. Yeah, repeating the same thing over and over again until we actually stop and transform it. Yeah. Okay, so how do we look at it? Belief system is formed. Now we create reality out of that. So out of that, we actually create our thoughts. So we know that our core belief system, what we believe about ourselves and others, actually creates specific thoughts. Thoughts are like energy in motion, like emotion. Yeah, they create emotion. Thoughts move as energy and they create emotion. And a repetitive thought patterns generate emotional responses. So emotional responses and emotion themselves are energy signals in the body. And energy signals, they manifest like physically in the body. So for example, if we feel, let's say we feel sad, yeah, we can feel heaviness in the chest. If we feel stressed, we feel anxiety. Like if we're anxious, we feel like stomach squeezing. Yeah. So those are the feelings coming from emotions. And then emotions and feelings together, they actually amplify that and create frequency. So because every emotion in the body actually emits a vibrational frequency, and that a vibrational frequency is literally an environment, a state of being. Yeah. And that state of being actually creates your reality. So your energetic frequency influences your perception, your decisions, and the actual circumstances you attract. So based on the emotions that you're feeling majority of time, yeah, of your day, which you can see on the left, yeah, we have a loop system. So we have belief system, create thoughts, thoughts create emotion, emotions create bodily feelings, and those together create frequency, frequency creates reality. So if I'm feeling, if I believe I am worthy, I'm gonna think, yeah, so let's say belief system is I am worthy. I'm gonna think I can do this, I have this, I can organize myself, I can create this, I can find people, I can challenge myself, I can move forward, I can do this, I can achieve this. So those are my thoughts, and those thoughts will create emotions of I can't wait to create this, I feel excited, I feel spacious, I feel motivated, I feel energized, yeah, and I feel I'm really, really I'm loving the situation. I'm joyful of create. Like I have a feeling of enjoyment of doing this. All of those emotions will create great expansive feelings, physical feelings in the body, like really bubbly feeling in the body, or smiling or laughing. And then that will actually create a state of being around me that will attract different people that are exactly on that frequency. And that will create a reality around me. So if I'm always in like, I accept this, I got it, I have this. I live in a state of flow. But if my belief system is I'm not worthy, then my thoughts will be, I can't do this. This is too hard. This is frustrating. I'm a horrible person. Whatever I do, nothing's matter. You know, everybody wants to attack me. Nobody wants to be with me. Nobody loves me. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And those will create emotions of loneliness and sadness and fear, not wanting to do anything. Yeah. And you will have this heaviness in your chest, and you'll have this knot in your stomach. And, you know, the more you're feeling this, the more you're draining your energy. And if you're looking at the state of being that you're creating, it's suffering, because suffering is fear, guilt, shame, yeah, anger, kind of in the getting by, yeah, but it's a state of suffering. So state of suffering will create more suffering. It will literally create a reality where you're going to have more people telling you you're not worthy, you can't do it, you're not worth to do it. Why are you bothering doing this? So you're going to actually reinforce that belief system that you already had from the beginning. So the way we create reality and the way we use our structure funnel to actually create and manifest what we want, we need to figure out what is the belief system behind it and how to actually generate new emotions in order to move from one belief system to another. And the same happens, for example, when we have suppressed emotions. So when there's a belief system and there was an issue that happened in the past, we had suppressed emotions. The suppressed emotions have a frequency, and that frequency creates specific thoughts. And those thoughts actually either reinforce the belief or create new ones. Yeah, because then we have sub-belief systems under that main belief system. So the only way to actually create a new reality is to shift your belief system. And to actually say, if I'm not worthy, I am worthy, and then find solutions and ways to actually reinforce the belief of I'm worthy and feel the emotions of I'm worthy. So that's the only way that we're going to create a different environment. So now I'm going to give you practical examples of how to do that. And one of the greatest tools to do that is Healy. Why? Because it works on you, on your energetic field, and it works on your environment field. And it works on both of them together. So you have an amazing tool in your hand and you're not using it at all, like for creating your own life. And you're thinking that you can just apply a program and, you know, think magically everything will happen. And you have nothing to do with this. Yeah, because somebody else created a program, everything will happen. No, it will not. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you will need to take responsibility for your own life. And you need to change what's not working. Otherwise, what's the point? Yeah, Healy is going to help you create that new belief. It will help you move to that space, but you need to do the work. So Healy is like a tuning fork. It's a great tool for alignment, and we know that it acts like a bridge between your energy, your inner state of being, and the reality of your experience and how you experience your reality. Because we know it scans, it analyzes it harmonizes your field, because your field influences the environment around you. So it reminds your body, your mind, and your bioenergetic field of the natural rhythm. If you're out of balance, it will remind it to come back to balance. But you have to do the work. Yeah? So we know it's like a tuning fork. It resonates, yeah, with natural energy, like harmonic energies, and it helps you return to your coherent state. So where you feel the most balanced. Yeah, and that's how we influence the environment around us. Okay, so when we combine Healy with awareness and intention, Healy will amplify that transformation. And I've seen that many times with myself and others. Yeah, but you need to be open and coachable and teachable and curious about new things. Not just learning and absorbing, but also giving yourself a chance to receive what's yours and believe that that is possible. Because that's when we detach from the outcome, we align with who we really are and what's meant for us. So the more you detach, the more you surrender, especially now, this energy right now, it's really, really pushing everyone to surrender. And it's really important to detach and not have only your plans in your head. Yeah? Okay, I literally did this. I'm going to go really fast through it, but I'm going to give you a PDF with exercises that I needed to pull out from the slides because otherwise they'll be too long. So you can get those later on when we get the recording. I'll post it into the Facebook group. So I gave you a structure of a practical structure to strengthen in your inner energy environment, and then a practical structure to actually strengthen and influence your outside environment, yeah, and shift your reality. So I gave you both, so don't stress, and I gave you Healy programs to use in every stage of how you can shift this, yeah? So what is the goal when we are looking at a practical approach to inner energy environment, to strengthen it and to create structure around it, to move it, yeah? The goal is to build strong energetic boundaries, build emotional balance, because emotions are the one that influences our reality. Remember, it's the frequency of the emotion, and your inner coherence. So are you aligned with what truly matters to you, or are you doing this because of others? Yeah, because if you're doing it because somebody else said that that's a good choice, then you're not aligned with yourself. It needs to come from within. So when you build this, you're going to be less influenced by a contractive energy around you in your environment. So for example, if you have people around you that full of fear, and that's okay. We all experience fear. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Yeah, I'm saying that if that's something you don't want to be around, but you still need to be around, then you're going to strengthen your environment. So whatever is happening outside of you, eventually it's not going to influence you anymore. And eventually those people will actually move away from you. And I've seen that happen again and again. So there's 4 stages in this practical structure for your inner strength, yeah, to strengthen your inner environment. First is awareness. So literally pausing at every situation, ongoing, yeah, to actually scan your emotional and mental states. I'm not saying just with Healy. I'm saying checking in, like you were checking in before. Are you in alignment with your environment or not? Yeah, are you aligned with yourself and what's going on? So I do this every morning with my meditation, but you don't have to do it for long times. You can do it 2-3 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't take you long while you're brushing your teeth if you want to. But just check in and just check with yourself. How do I feel in my body right now? And just give yourself 2-3 minutes. Like, I feel energized, or my body aches, or my back hurts, or oh wow, but my heart is open. Oh wow, I'm so excited about this. Oh, but oh yeah, I'm a bit scared about that. Yeah, check in with yourself how you're feeling, and then recognize what's yours and what's not yours. This is the tough one to do, because I know that, a lot of you don't even know where these emotions are coming and you're kind of new to this stuff. But I'll give you a step-by-step process in the PDF so you can actually check with yourself. But the most important thing is, and one of them is also Healy, because Healy, when we do the resonance analysis, it gives us options at the end with those numbers. If those numbers are like our mental, emotional, like emotion suppressed emotions, or mental or spiritual perceptions, or they are like parental, grandparental, karmic, ancestral. Yeah, so we can see if those energies are passed down. And of course, the other one is to actually check in, is this your energy or not, to actually recognize your energy more and more. But I'll give you that step by step. Second stage is clearing your energy. So when you understand what's yours, what's not, you want to let go of what's not. Yeah, and even for the things that are yours, you want to transform them. So breath work, any movement of the body, grounding, and of course using Healy is a great combination to actually clear the energy out of the body, yeah, and out of your energetic field. So if you are a lot around people that draining your energy, not intentionally, but that energy is not healthy for you, make sure that you go into nature more often, that you ground more often, so you discharge that energy, because naturally nature does that on its own. Then make sure that you actually visualize grounding. So you go in nature, you go barefoot, or you go on the grass and you visualize grounding yourself into the earth. Yeah, like growing roots, because that will actually discharge all your energy out of the body. Then the same thing you can do like we did the bubble. Yeah, you can do the breath work through the heart, like literally cleaning out your body. So you can imagine inhaling the light and love that comes. You can pull up the memory if you want to, and then you can expand it throughout your body and exhale anything that's heavy. So until you feel really light and there's no shadows or black colors or anything throughout the body. The more you do it, the cleaner you be, the cleaner your energy, the clearer your energy, the faster you can do it. Yeah. And make sure that at the end that you fill up new frequency. So when you let go of things, you need to bring new frequency in. So you need to recharge your body with love and joy and actually just build that through the heart, like you are the heart rhythm, the breath. Yeah, you're using the breath and you're using your heart to actually move anything heavy out and bring new love and light into the body. Then you need to rebalance and strengthen your energy field. So because you need the boundaries. So you need to choose a focus program. For example, if you scan your aura, like aura field, and you see certain chakras come up, you can vibrate that aura. So that's the simplest way you can do it. Then the second thing that I like to do is look at the aura analysis and see which chakras are out of balance. And then I choose the chakra program on the Healy, yeah, to actually apply it. You can also do bioenergetic defense, bioenergetic support programs. Those are all that will strengthen your Healy. I'll show you different programs on the next page. And when we are rebalancing, there's a practice you need to be aware of. So this is building your energetic muscle. So practice expanding your own energetic field using gratitude, joy, love, and your breath. So like we did before, like you put everything into the bubble, just practice that multiple times a day. So you stay in that frequency all the time as much as possible, and you'll be strengthening your energy field all the time. And this is like, you know, like your energy muscle. Like you need to, you know, pull up your weights, you need to build up your muscle, you need to build up your energetic muscle as well. Yeah, make sure that you focus on what really uplifts you. So make sure that you pull up memories that actually really feel expansive and loving and excited for you. Yeah. And then we need to anchor that frequency in the body and make it integrate into the body, so we maintain that frequency for longer. So this is where intention comes in really well. So you can choose an intention. I gave you an intention that I like to use for my boundaries. So affirmation can be, I choose which energies that I allow into my space. I allow only love, joy, and peace into my space, nothing else. So nobody else can pass through that space, and nothing else related to anything else but this can pass through my space. And if it's not love, joy, and peace, I don't want it in my environment. Yeah. And that should be your mantra the way you want it. Choose the emotions that you want, but make sure that you define what you really want and what's really important to you, and do not move away from that. Yeah. No matter for who. Because as soon as you allow somebody cross that boundary, you're done. You allowed someone in your space, and it's really hard to get that back. So make sure that you build that. And of course, of course, nothing's going to be perfect. Just make sure that you practice. You can practice before going in contractive environments. I know there's some positive environments in life as well, and if you build them, there'll be a lot of them. Yeah. Like for me, now I've built them, I have positive environments around me. But if you're not in the positive environments, you're in contractive environments, like a lot of people are complaining, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration. If you're going to those spaces, be it work, home, whatever it is, make sure before you go into that space, you can visualize this beautiful shield around you. Yeah. You can use your breath to fill it up. Yeah. You can use the intention, what you allow and what you don't allow, especially what you allow and nothing else. And you can also run your Healy before you go into certain spaces. Yeah. You can run your aura, and then you can vibrate that to yourself. Or you can just use a program like bioenergetic support programs like bioenergetic boost, coherence, that will help you literally align, and they will help you boost your energetic field, so you're not going to be as affected by the environment. So programs through the stages. So the first one is aura scan and coaching program. I've done this in another training, so I'm not going to show you tonight. But you can scan an aura scan, and then you create. I love scanning auras to see where my field is open or contracted. So when you look at the aura and in the chakras, it says rigor or chaos. So rigor means that it's closed up. Yeah. Chaos means it's too open. So this is where you can see the pathways of where you have holes in your auric field or your energetic field, so you can close them. Yeah. So the more closed the auric field or energetic field is, the easier it's going to be to hold it. Yeah, because you're not going to juggle ping pongs moving into your field. Yeah. What I like to do also is I like to read through my aura patterns that come up, yeah, with analysis, and then I create my own affirmation. And that affirmation, or you can choose the top one that resonates, whichever, yeah. But I create my own affirmation and then I pop it into the coaching program, and I put that affirmation into the coaching program, and I scan coaching program based on that. And that actually gives me the belief systems, yeah. So I can see what are my belief systems that are actually preventing me to close this space, so I can then work with them. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through this again because I've done it before, but I'm gonna show you a different scan. In the clearing space, you can choose, like I said, bioenergetic support programs, which are bioenergetic boost and coherence to strengthen your energetic field. Aura Pure in Soul Cycle is really good. Or if you have MagHealy, energy clearing and chakra clearing, chakra balancing, I think it is. What is it? Chakra balancing. I think it's chakra balancing. Forgot. Gold cycle, if you only have gold, release is really good, or pure. Bioenergetic defense programs, general protection. Yeah. If you have other influences from the environment that are agitated to your body and to your energetic field and they're coming up, bioenergetic defense programs have also geopathy and planets and other stuff that are actually influencing your energy field. But general protection is actually good to start with. When you're rebalancing and strengthening your energetic field, again, gold cycles for those who have only gold, balance, energy, being, those are great. Bioenergetic support programs, as I said, boost and coherence. Soul cycle programs, literally anything. So rebalancing and strength, you can use confidence or happy to get your emotions up, or mental balance programs like, unity or emotional well-being. Those are really important programs to actually strengthen your state of being, and not just looking at the physical elements of what's going on in the body, because sometimes energetics and emotions are influencing what's going on a physical level. And then anchoring that ongoing, of course, as I said, bioenergetic defense, general protection, I use that when I started doing the buildup of my energetic field. I use that every day. Bioenergetic support, of course, coherence. I would normally pair coherence with general protection, and then I would do boost every second or third day. And then, of course, aura. If you vibrate aura either daily or weekly, and check your patterns, and then use Soul Cycle like Aura Pure, or use MagHealy to cleanse your aura or energy or emotions, those are really good too on Mag. Yeah, MagHealy emotions in McMaken is really good. So if you don't have a lot of boundaries energetically, use emotion in McMaken if you have MagHealy. Otherwise, of course, bioenergetic support programs, which you all have, no matter what Healy you have. But emotions actually clean out anything that's not yours, any energy that's not yours. And when you actually start using it, even if you don't know and if you can't discern what's yours and what's not, when you start using this program, you will know what's yours and what's not. Like, it goes away and you go, oh, before I was feeling angry, but now I'm not. Okay, that was not mine. So you can actually start checking in with yourself. Okay, structure to strengthen or shift your physical reality. So now we understand how to do that on an inner level, because this is the first step, right? Who we are and how we are vibrating is going to influence our environment. So now, how do we prepare our environment to keep our state of being high so we don't fall back? So the goal of this structure is to align external environment with our inner frequency. So if we want to be in the joy and excitement and love and compassion space, we need to create environments around us that actually support that. So we need to intentionally be first in that space, not the other way around. We need to be experiencing that emotion. We need to be the ones to lead by example and then intentionally create spaces around us. What does that mean? Creating spaces and situations that actually nourish us, meaning that if you have people and friends that you think that they're friends, but they're always complaining and they're never giving back to you, but you're always giving, then you need to move away. I'm not saying cancel them, but just give yourself some space, because then you can regenerate your energy and you will see what works for you and what doesn't. And the same, it happens with your family members, that the same happens with, job, whatever. So you can actually, I know that's different because you need money, and the money will come when you actually start shifting things. And sometimes we need to balance in between. But to create environments, you need to choose, consciously choose, is this serving me or not? And what do I really want? So the first step is vision. You need to define what you want to strengthen and shift. Do I want to focus on health? Do I want to focus on relationships? Do I want to focus on work or abundance? Choose one thing, because if you do multiple things, you're going to be scattered around, and that energy is not focused, and it's nothing changes. Yeah, so you need to focus on one thing. And then you need to bring yourself into alignment. As I said, you need to become that vibration. You need to feel love, like genuine love, not just go, oh, I feel so excited today. No, you need to feel it, like honestly have that grounded love, like I love doing this because of this, and this brings me this, and this brings me this, and I feel this. So you need to have that experience within yourself. So you need to make sure that your energy matches your vision. What you want to achieve, your energy needs to match that vision. So are my beliefs, my emotions, my thoughts, and my focus aligned with what I really want to create? Or are they still here in this space the way that I am now? Because that's not going to create something new. Yeah. And then are my actions. So then we need to move into action. So actions are literally taking small aligned steps in the physical world. You need to have steps. You need to move forward, and you need to take risks, and you need to, challenge yourself. And to create that in the environment, you can actually first scan your environment. So when you come into a space, like physical space, or you can scan your environment within yourself if you want to, or if you can scan environment with people that surround you on a physical level. Yeah, so when you come into a space, you can observe. You were observing before when we were looking at, are you aligned with your environment or not? You can observe what feels heavy in this space, what feels draining in this space, what feels chaotic here in this space. And also ask yourself what feels joyful and light, what feels good in the body, what do I want more of in this space? So you can have both polarities, and then you can choose the ones that you want, not the ones that you don't want. Yeah, because if you focus on the ones you don't want, you're going to have more of that. So focus on the ones that you want. And then you literally ask, is this space supportive for me or is contracting me? So when you come into a space with people, situations, whatever it is this draining my energy or is it giving me energy? So those are the really good questions, because that will give you a feedback of how this environment is influencing you. Because if the environment is draining you, either you don't have strong boundaries, or it's not the frequency that you want, but you are that frequency because you're in that environment. So you will need to shift that frequency in order to change the environment. So the second stage is clearing physical space. Yes, you can clean it out with Healy. Yeah. But there's also a great thing that we forget that's free. Declutter. Yeah, clean it out, open the windows, add plants, use your sound, music, dance in it. Bring some light into it, open the windows, get the sun in. Bring essential oils, set an intention when you sit in the space. Those are all for free. And you can influence your space just based on that. Trust me. If you go and clean up your apartment, you will feel completely different. The apartment will feel completely different. Yeah. So then you can also bring in MagHealy and all of it, and we'll look at the Healy programs. Then, of course, when you clean out the space, you need to bring in new frequency. So you need to infuse coherence. So make sure that you bring in intention. And if you feel like it's hard for you to keep your energy, your thoughts, your emotions in that high joyful state or loving state or gratitude state, what I like to do is you can put around intention holders. Yeah, so you can do like affirmations or vision boards or crystals if you want to, or any sacred object that means something to you and represent a specific frequency. And I like to put them around the house for myself, and not just because they're there. No, every time I put something up on the wall, I put an emotion into it. So every time I pass it, it actually evokes that emotion within me. So I keep re-invoking that frequency, that emotion, that feeling every single time I pass it. So I keep myself consistently in that frequency, so I don't fall back. So that's a really simple way to do that. Yeah. So because we forget, because we get into the rhythm of old stuff. And then when we do this consistently, we need to now anchor it so we can keep going with that frequency and building it. Yeah, because that's what creates our reality and state of being. So how do we anchor change? We create practice, because the more we practice, the more we actually create things. So make sure that when you are preparing your space, when you're clearing it and you put an intention in, and every time you step, like I like to put myself on the doors. So I energetically set an intention and I literally place a label, like an energetic label. Now, you can do it physically as well if you want to. I put an energetic label on every door frame. So for example, every time I step into my house, I have a label of cleaning energy. So when I step into the home of my home, I literally let go of anything that does not belong in the house. And when I actually created when we came in and moved into the house, I created a space in every part of the house. So I put intentions in it. I visualize that space as a harmonious space already, the way that I want to live in. So every time I step through that door, I literally only keep the frequency that is on a frequency of that space. So for example, when I go into my bedroom, when I walk into the bedroom, I have an energetic label on my door frame that says calm, peace, connection. So I step into the space of my bedroom and that's all that's in there. So I do not bring anything else into that space. And if something happens, I tend to move out. I move out of the bedroom because I don't want that energy in that space, because that is influencing my space, my sleep, my health. So I create energetic labels, but you can also just visualize the space with specific energy. Make sure that you visualize a specific event, like how do you feel, like for example, are kids in that space enjoying themselves, are you resting, are you what are the feelings in there, what are the experiences of that space for you. You need to visualize how that looks like and feel the emotions. It be a joy, peace, love, whatever that is in that space, and bring that space into that frequency. So make sure that you create that memory and you use your breath to actually expand it into your space. So what I like to do as well to amplify that feeling is, for example, if I'm creating harmony, or if I'm creating love, or if I'm creating abundance, or if I'm creating connection, whatever it is that I'm choosing, every time I encounter, so I'm really aware to observe my environment 24/7, yeah, anywhere I am, not just at home, anywhere I am. When I encounter that feeling or that experience or that state of being of abundance, love, joy, connection, whatever that is, what I say is I affirm, I acknowledge it. So I stop and I actually see it. And then I acknowledge it and say, thank you, and more of this. Because when we are giving and giving and giving, we forget to receive. So when we're actually acknowledging this and saying it out loud, what we're doing, we're allowing a space within to actually receive. And that's how we're shifting frequency of our environment. So the more we do that, the more we're going to bring that energy into our world. Yeah. And this anchors the feedback. Yeah. The give and receive. So that's the structure of it. Some programs, when you're in the state of vision, I like using coach programs, success coach, when you're setting your goals and focus and motivation. If you have a business coach model, you can use that too. When you're in alignment, I like to use activation in job as well as digital nutrition mixtures. And I like to use all the digital nutrition mixtures. I just scan them. And I scan fitness programs when I'm in alignment to actually amplify the physical vitality so I can hold more energy within the body. So if your body is not like in vitality, you can't hold more energy, which is higher frequency. So you need to build that up within your body. Of course, coherence is also one of the programs that works really well with alignment. When you can hold more energy, cosmic growth is really good one too, but don't do it if you don't have a lot of energy in the body yet, because otherwise you're gonna just collapse everything else on a physical. Action, when you need to take action, I like to use bioenergetic vitalization, I like to use fitness programs, like energy resilience. I like to use pineal gland to actually focus my energy within the brain. And then when you do the environment scans, so aura scan, and I will show you this now. So you can actually do an aura scan for a person, but you can also do an aura scan for a space or object or plant or animal, whatever you want to. But what I like to do is I like to do a few scans separately. So when I do environmental scan and when I prepare things in my environment, like your home, for example, yeah, I like to do an aura scan for the home, for the space. I like to do an aura scan specifically on myself or on my partner or whoever lives in there. And then I like to combine the aura scan with the person and the space, so I can see what are the patterns that are coming up. Yeah, so I'm going to show you that in Healy. I'm just going to finish that slide. When you're clearing the physical space, I like to use MagHealy atmosphere programs. What I like to do is use energy clearing, and I use that everywhere I go in hotels. Chakra balancing is the one that I wanted. So chakra balancing is for clearing anything in your body and your space as well. Sometimes I use it on my body as well. Coherence, of course, so you can align the frequency with you. Electrosensitivity. So when we have a lot of electrosensitivity in the space, it will agitate your energetic field. So that means it will drain your energy. So if you actually run that program to balance it, it will help you cope with higher frequencies. And then relationship. People ask me, why relationship if there's no relationship if I live alone? Everything in your life is a relationship. You relate to everything. You relate to your house, you relate to your home, you relate to your door, you relate to your animal, you relate to your plants, you relate to your people around you. You relate to everything because you are everything and everything is you. So relationships are important to have them in coherence and in balance so you can see things clearer and you don't take things personally. Because if you start taking things personally, means that as soon as you keep this in mind and write this down, yeah? If you take things personally in your life, and I will say this with love, if you take this, if anything happens in your life and you take it personally in a way, he did this to me, or she did this to me, or they did this to me, and I did this, and you didn't do that, and all of that, and you're taking it personally, you're actually in a contraction. And that means it's a red alarm for you to stop and take a breath. And I know it's hard because those feelings of sadness and unfairness and anger are coming up. But the thing is, the situation from the outside is showing you that something is out of alignment. And if you keep going, taking things personally, you're going to be trapped in what we call a victim space. Everything's happening to me. Yeah? Not for me, but to me. And you're going to to take everything as an attack, and you're not going to be open to new opportunities and situations. So in order to shift that, you need to stop, take a breath, and actually really check your beliefs and do a reality check to go, is this true? Is this really true? So you can shift yourself out of it, okay? And what's the worst thing that can happen? So yeah, so atmospheric programs, and of course Healy vibrations. So I'm going to show you when you do the aura, for the space, you can vibrate to the space through Healy as well. Yeah, so you can actually start shifting the environment and the space in it. Infusing coherence, again, so you can do aura coaching scans, and you can then vibrate to either the space, to the team that's in there. So if you have a workspace, you can actually scan the workspace, and then you can scan the team in there, and then you can scan the both of them together to see what the patterns are. And I like to use creative homeopathy. I know this is really strange for people, but creative homeopathy is stress patterns. So when I scan the space and I scan a person with the space, it actually helps me understand what are the stresses that are pushed on the space and what are the stresses that are pushed on the person within that space. That means that when we are vibrating harmonic frequencies through the creative homeopathy, we are now removing the stresses and we are creating a harmonic and balanced space. So the people that are in that space feel more coherent to the space and they feel more accepted and belonging. And that actually shifts the frequency automatically because it's no agitation. Yeah, there's no pressure from the outside. And when we do that, we then move into anchoring stage where we can use either coaching programs. So for example, when you scan the coaching program and vibrate, for example, you can scan a coaching program with intention. So you want an intention, for example, you set intention of my home supports my healing. Yeah. And then a coaching scan would reveal a belief system that says, I don't deserve peace at home, which is contradictory to what you want to create. So vibrating a coaching program with belief systems to the space as well as to you, as well as a combination of you and the space, it actually creates a harmonic environment. And then it actually shifts the belief system. It helps you shift the belief system. You'll still have to work on that. Yeah. So this is how I do this. This is how I changed everything in my reality. This is how I do this daily. And the less you put any time frames on it, the better it's going to be. Yeah. So I'm just going to show you before we go into questions here. So you can see my phone, right? So this is the Blue app. So you can go into the Blue app, and the first thing you need to do is actually add a thing. Yeah. So you go into clients and you go plus, and you actually go and add a building. So you add a building, you go, okay, I want to put a photo in there. So I'm just going to do a photo here, just a random photo. Yeah. I'm just testing this to show you how to do it. So then you put a name of your house. You can put an address, but you can put like, your name and the home, whatever. Let's say house one. And the house one is home. Yeah. And then you put the building. You can also record the vibration. So what I would do is actually put a Healy in the home, and then I would set an intention to vibrate and scan the core vibration of this home in alignment, in a full alignment. Yeah. And then you would record the vibration. Yeah. So I can do that for myself now. Oh yeah, I need to connect to Healy. So no, don't tell me. I know what it is. No? Oh, that's strange. That's very strange. Okay. Let me try to connect here. If it's happening when I wanted to do that and now it's not wanting to connect. That's a really strange thing. Now it will. Okay. 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 So now it's gonna scan. I'm setting an intention of that home. Where are we? Oh, did it Go in house 1, yeah. So we record the vibration of the house. Okay, you can put in, it's good to put in the date of building or the date that you moved in, yeah. And then you put an address, whatever where you live, yeah. I'm not going to put that in, and that's it, yeah. And then you can analyze. So you can then analyze the home with your aura. So you can go in here and you do a new aura analysis, yeah. So you do an aura analysis for this home. So when you do the aura analysis for this home, you will see which chakras are out of balance, so you can then scan. So this one, oh, where are you? This was pretty good. So this is just a test. But you can then again do the analysis for the rest of the chakras for the home, and it will come up with patterns. Yeah. And then what you can do, and what I like to do is, which I can't do now, but what I would do is, that's an interesting pattern that came up. What I like to do is I would go into clients and I would actually add either a group or I would add other, and I would use name, for example, house plus Petra, for example. Yeah, so I would do house plus me. I'm not going to put a photo in there because I don't have that. And this is, you can do group, home group or something. Yeah. So it's a home and a person. And you can record the vibration of both. So when you're setting an intention, make sure that you are setting an intention of that person in that home. The full expansion or extension or full expression of that person in the balanced expression of the home. So thinking of that so you can actually do that. And then what you're going to do, and then of course you do the date of creation. So I would normally do this on the day that I would scan or the day that I moved in. Yeah, so I would put that date. And then I would do again analysis or coaching analysis, and I would scan for both of them. Yeah, so for both of them together. And then I would vibrate separate list for me, separate list for the home, and separate list for the me and home together. And I would vibrate that consistently for a month. And for home, I would probably do it for 3 months. So, and then until I feel the shift in the home. And I would use MagHealy programs to clean out the space as well to prepare it. And of course, I would observe myself through the space, or when things move through the space, when I live in the space, what's going on and what's happening, what's shifting. Okay, I think I've done. This is long one with everything. Any questions? If you have any questions, put up your hand. I will look at chat. So now the 8-7 schooling age makes sense. Yeah, that was the age when children started going to school before the modern education system took precedence. Yes, correct. Now they want them in school a bit early, so they can influence. What is the recommended duration of running coaching or a pure homeopathy programs for the home and ourselves? Yes, good question. So the way I like to do it, so if I run it for the home, I normally run it, the first round, I run it 8 hours throughout the night. And then I run energy clearing for 24 hours on, so MagHealy on, what is it? What do you call it? The charger. Yeah. I would do that first. Then I would run probably I would start for myself. Well, this is okay. I'll probably do it generally. So I would start running aura and coaching for about 27 minutes per day. If you feel a lot of shifts happening in the body, yeah, then if you can't handle it, move backwards. So shorten the time. If you feel you can handle it and you want to shift it, then strengthen the time. So go to an hour or something or what it is. Or you can run 8 hours throughout the night and then go back to 12 minutes per day or 6 minutes per day. Yeah. So you can actually start shifting that throughout the night. So I like to do, before I do myself or anyone living in the house for an 8 hour all-nighter, I like to do a like vibration to the home first, and then I would do applications on me so I can prepare the space so I'm not doing everything at once. Does that make sense? So I'm not overwhelming myself by living in there as well as overwhelming myself by shifting the energy already. So I start small with myself and I do the long-term times on the home. Yeah. And that would be the same. I would approach that the same with aura or coaching. With creative homeopathy, if you have like work or team or whatever in an environment, I would definitely team space. I would do 6 minutes or 12 minutes max per day. And then reevaluate after like a week to see what's actually going on, what's happening, because you have a group of people. But for the workspace, I would definitely do the same. So 8 hours overnight, you can leave the Healy there if you want to. And then MagHealy also overnight, or 24 hours for cleaning, energy clearing. And then I would do another 24 hours for on a charger with chakra balancing and relationships. So you can do that day after day. And then in between, you can run, if you only have one Healy, then you can, when you finish the space, you can start running the team or yourself. Yeah, because you're going to have like 8 hours and you're going to need to charge the Healy in between. But that's how I would run it. Yeah. But if as soon as something happens, so if people start getting triggered or everything's getting overwhelmed, just pull back or do a pause in between. Because what we tend to do is when we shift, even if there's harmonic frequencies, we send those frequencies out and then they start coherently balancing, and people sometimes consciously don't want to shift and change, and that creates resistance. So you can have friction and traction, like people having conflicts and triggers. So if that starts happening, and that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, it's just people see it as a bad thing, is just slow it down and then bring it back. That's how I would do it. Whoa, okay, everybody. Okay, perfect. This comes at just the right time. I have a friend who is really struggling with new neighbors. They keep hens and 2 roosters. Oh, that's fun. They have 3 boys who are constantly quarreling and very, very loud. On top of that, there have already been a few other incidents with okay. Yeah, so just make sure, yeah, so if they have the Healy, if the family has the Healy, they can do it. Yeah. Please do not do that on your neighbors. Yeah, because you can actually create more resistance if they are not willing to shift. So what I like to do with neighbors, if something is not shifting, I would strengthen my energetic field with coherence, and I would strengthen my space. Yeah, because that actually normally shifts the energy automatically around. So never try influencing others, influence yourself. Yeah. All my chakras are less than 45%, but heart chakra is 50. Okay. And what one? Okay. So there were so many aura sessions that we've done in the past 2 and 3 years. If you go into my group or on well, it should be on APEC as well. You can search for, Katie I think we did 4 sessions on aura at the beginning, right? Like 3.5, 3 years back. And there's a cheat sheet that you can get in my Facebook group as well. Katie Chisholm did it, all about reading aura and what the meaning of it and what to look for and all of that. So there's a whole training, an hour and a half on that. So you can look at that. But if your chakras are less than 45%, I would say that you're probably either really worried or stressed or low energy. So there's a lot of things that are blocking the energy moving through the body. So make sure that you look at that, look at the patterns, and look at the training so you can actually know how to read it. When you create a group, do you need to list all of the names? Not necessarily. So because if you do it with all the names, there'll be individual energy in that, but you want the group to be a group, right? So the group has a frequency. So if you just set an intention of that group, and actually when you are vibrating the frequency of the group, when you're scanning the vibration of the frequency of the group, just have an intention of the full expression of that group. Yeah, so not an individual in the group, but the full expression of that group, because each individual will bring to the group and will coherently bring something else out of it. So that's why I like to do the groups. Like when I did retreats last year with Katie as well here in Brisbane, well, outside of Brisbane, we scanned our retreat groups every single time we did the retreat. And I always vibrated scanned the vibration of the entire group, not individual, because that was the frequency environment that was expressing on that day. And when we scanned emotions and stuff, they were spot on. Like everything we were processing throughout the day, that was spot on. So I would do the whole group, not individual, like just intention of that group. Like if you have a team that is, a team that does the brainstorming for like marketing, for example, imagine that group of what is the outcome that you want from that group, and what would be the full expression of that outcome that you want from that group. So that's what I would actually set an intention for when I scan the vibration of the group. So that will actually bring it together. Can other home program groups be used besides aura and coaching? Yes, of course, you can scan anything. You can scan anything you want on a home, on a pad, on a bicycle if you want to, because everything is energy. So you can just think of what would that bring you. So I like creative homeopathy because it gives me stress patterns. I like aura because it tells me where energy is open and where it's too close, it's not flowing. I like coaching because it gives me limiting beliefs of which are creating the energy of the space. But you can scan bar flowers, you can scan Australian bush flowers, you can scan anything you want. You can even scan, for those of you that have a courage module, yeah, so that's actually a great one to scan for homes, because it actually is on that. I'll show you. Where are you? So the courage module actually works on this. So it literally works on the frequency above joy. So anything up in the flow frequency, yeah. So it actually tells you, it literally gives you the consciousness of emotions. So when you scan, it tells you what emotions are needed and what do you need to actually shift. So if you scan those and vibrate those into the home or field, that's actually something that you can actually really help yourself shift. Of course you can, but if you scan, you can also scan all Healy programs. But you can't really apply all Healy programs to the home, right? So you need to think about what is your intention and what do you want to achieve with that, yeah, like everything else. For my daughter, Erasmus, yeah, I used to do Erasmus. I went to Spain for Erasmus. Yes, you can. Yes, you can vibrate that there, but I would also teach her to create the space with intention. Yeah, so I had to do it too because we had a big apartment, and we needed to create a space. But you can teach her how to create her own space with intention and with breath and imagining, but you can vibrate that to her in her flat as well, definitely. Because I know with kids, going for an exchange program, it can be challenging, especially at first, especially if that's her first. I noticed that MagHealy couldn't last 8 hours. So what percentage? It will last more than 8 hours if you leave it on the charger. So leave it charged. So that's why I love it, because Healy, you can't charge and vibrate at the same time. MagHealy, you can leave on the charger and it will run without a problem. Yeah, I have it on 100%. Yeah, I do energy clearing and I do it on 100%. So, but you need to leave it on the charger. And you can leave it in other rooms. Yeah. Of course not. It's just for my friend. Of course, yeah. You don't want to go to neighbors, just like you know. No, of course you can if she allows it. Of course, I'm just saying, don't put your head where it's not supposed to be because it can get chopped out, energetically as well, not just physically. Thank you very much. You mentioned fertilization programs, so they are not only for renewing stem cells. No, so bioenergetic vitalization, yes, it's stem cells, DNA, but remember, the more energy you have in your body, the more vitality you have in your body, the higher frequency you can hold. So if you can hold the higher frequency, imagine the reality that you are creating. Yeah, so the pineal gland in bioenergetic vitalization is also, pineal gland governs all your nervous system and your nervous system. So for example, if your nervous system is fried and you have adrenal fatigue and you're tired and exhausted, you will not be able to hold higher frequencies and you'll be triggered really fast and you'll be drained and exhausted. So make sure that you help your body regenerate in order to actually hold the higher vibration. And the more you hold the higher vibration, meaning feeling of joy and connection and love and all of that, and bringing that into your environment more and more, the more your nervous system will regenerate as well. Yeah, any Healy program is not just for a physical thing. Like, for example, we had the discussion in our group this week. Somebody asked about bed rest program, right? And I gave them the whole explanation of it, right? Bed rest is not just for regeneration of the nervous system, and of course it works on adrenal glands. But if you look at differently, on an emotional level, bed rest brings an invitation to rest, to actually look at where are we not nurturing ourselves, where are we depleting ourselves, where are our energies moving away and not actually coming back. So we need to kind of look at it from both sides, because we are working with frequency. This is not like taking a tablet and it works only on that. Yeah, like even if you look at the Bach flowers or Australian bush flowers, even essences, they are energetic as well as physical. So we need to understand that we are working on a subtle field now. We're not just working with physical matter. And physical matter is not physical anyway. It's still energy. It's just vibrating on a slower frequency so we can touch it and feel it. Yeah. For my family, could I create family plus flat? Correct. You can create a whole, like when you go into other, you can literally do a photo if you want to in Canva. You can put a photo of your family and your home and take this as a one photo and then pop it into the Healy. Yeah. And you can either put it into as a group or you can put it into as an other, and you can put family and flat and then you vibrate that. Yeah, and then you can actually create both of them. Just letting you know that when we do multiple frequency at once, then the home or the environment and the frequencies of family members, they now need to coexist together and find the right balance. So sometimes that creates this. Yeah, so you might be noticing at the beginning when the energy is actually balancing, you might notice more conflicts and things that kind of coming up like a volcano. Yeah, but if you're looking at it from a perspective of a positive point of view, oh wow, okay, things are clearing, so how can we bring more joy, how can we bring more compassion, how can we listen more actively, how can we bring compassionate communication into it. The more you bring positive things, the vibrations that you want, that you're choosing new, the more you bring that in, the faster it will shift. And then all of a sudden, things kind of settle. And you go, Oh, that's strange. That's really interesting. So you kind of start observing the frequencies around you. So I've done this at the beginning when I got my Healy. I used to do this before the Healy, like because I use energy anyway. And I do this every single time I move. And it's really interesting. I do this with my partner, and we're going to have this session in September. I'm going to give you a session because I've been wanting to do this for forever, to actually look at the scans, and I'll show you how I do that with my partner. So looking at the scans of myself and my partner, and we can do that with someone else if you want to, and then looking at the patterns that come up. So then we compare that, and we use compassionate communication in order to actually bridge the gap and actually transform the frequency so we can build our relationship. So we're going to look at relationships and communication with Healy. So you can use Healy in so many different ways, and you just need to figure out how you want to use it. But I do this for everything, like seriously everything. I use Healy, I use my intuition, I use my own energy. I combine things together. Yeah. Okay, now I think we've done. It's 8:45. Okay, Elaine, I'll read this. So the frequency of the MagHealy reaches certain limited distance. Yeah, is there specific version of this? Yeah, the more the central of the space, the better it is. But remember, MagHealy works on magnetic fields. So magnetic fields, they magnetize the electrons and the protons and the my brain is now. So the molecules of the space, yeah, the atoms. So even if you have it in a living room, eventually when the more you run it, the more the energy will be influenced. Yeah, so the more it will expand. So it's not like just this is the physical space. This is the measurable physical space. But that doesn't mean it's not influencing the rest of the space. Yeah, so but it might take longer time, but it will still influence that space. And the more you are influenced being in that space, the more you're going to shift that frequency in the space anyway. So don't overanalyze that in your head. Yeah. Would it deplete the lifetime battery of the MagHealy or damage the MagHealy if the running program? MagHealy it was made to run on the charger, but don't do it like for a month. Like do it at the beginning for a few, like 1, 2, 3 days, and then run normally without the charger. Yeah, you don't have to do it. But MagHealy was made to be on a charger to actually run it as well. That's what I was told. If Jeffrey's in here, he's an engineer, he might actually give you more details on that. But you can ask that in the Facebook group if you want to. And Jeffrey, you can tag Jeffrey, or I'll tag Jeffrey, and people can give you some analysis that are engineers that might be different. Okay. Hand. Okay. Nitya Lashmi, if you will be fast, I can give you space, but otherwise we will finish.
Hi Petra, it's lovely connecting with you. Hope you're doing well. So I have a very simple question. Thank you. Yeah. So the first one question would be like you said no, like while charging the Healy device, we won't be able to run the vibrations program, right? But then for me, you're getting my point, right? If we
So we're
run
talking
the
about, you said the Healy. So are you talking about Healy or MagHealy?
Healy device, this
So we
one.
can't charge Healy and vibrate.
But for me, it is running actually. When I put the Healy for charger, and when I
I
start
wouldn't.
running the
I
sorry.
wouldn't, but you can. Like I wouldn't charge my Healy and run it. You can if
Oh,
you want to, but it's gonna really deplete the battery.
oh, okay. Is it
Yeah, I wouldn't, but you can if that's your choice. If you want to do that on your Healy, you can.
mm,
For me, sometimes it just disconnects automatically. But from what I've heard, and I'm not saying that this is the only way, yeah. As I said, if Jeffrey's in here or in the Facebook group, you can ask that question. There's people that are electrical engineers that might tell you more. Because that's not my expertise. But I charge the mag because it's touch charge. but I wouldn't run vibrations on the Healy while charging.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. The
Yeah,
second
that's just
question
my
would be,
preference.
yeah, okay. So you mean to say, sir, somewhere the electrical charge will affect the person who's taking the vibration in some way?
By that, with in regards to?
Like we are charging the device, right? And from the device only, it is emitting the vibration for us when we run the database analysis or the or coach, whatever, or essential oil. All these things are like we are getting the vibrations only from the device. And in that case, when we put a device for charger, and then if we run the program, will it affect us in any way? I'm asking.
Okay, so that's a bit technical, but for this, I'll try to answer as much as I know.
Sure.
So Healy itself uses resonance frequency, meaning that it doesn't matter where it is, the resonance frequency, it has no, it doesn't have limitations. It goes anywhere on the world. Yeah.
Okay.
So because it works on a thought. Yeah. So it works on an intention, on a thought pattern of frequency. So you can send that resonance frequency anywhere because it's going to try to find the resonance for that person. Yeah. But if you're charging, so for the person in the room where you're charging Healy, you need to understand that every time you charge something, you will have an electromagnetic field from the charging, and that's actually an agitated electromagnetic field. So it's not a positive electromagnetic field. It will still send resonance frequency to that person, whoever you're sending it to, but it will influence the room around you because it's charging, and now you also emitting the electromagnetic field from the charger. So,
Okay.
because every appliance in your room has an electromagnetic field, a lower electromagnetic field, but still electromagnetic field. So it's that, like, you can sometimes feel the Healy, like, I don't know if that's anyone else's experience, but when I was charging and trying to actually vibrate, the Healy got really hot. So we're
Okay.
still on a physical matter, energetic, not just ethereal. So this is not free energy. Yeah. So free energy would work on a zero field, meaning that zero field, there is no electromagnetic field like with appliances. Yeah. So there's only harmonic frequencies being carried by zero field frequencies. So, and it's actually pulsating out. So that free energy, it's a different type of energy than the Healy emits. Yeah, although we have a coil that is working on a zero field energy, that does not mean it's scalar or free energy. Yeah, so we still have limitations to a certain point right now. Like with high wave now, Healy's making really big changes because it literally there's equal distribution of frequency throughout the body, which before we didn't have that. Yeah, so we are reaching deeper parts of our body, but you still get frequency, like resonance frequency from the Healy will still go to that person, but you are putting yourself into more of the EMF, agitating EMF space if you're charging your Healy and you're sleeping next to it or working next to it, because then you'll have your computers that are, those are EMFs that are actually agitating to your body, and they're not really healthy. Yeah, you want to avoid that. That's why Healy made an option back, like years back. Although Healy has not a weak, but a shorter range of Bluetooth, yeah, which is also an EMF spectrum of frequencies, which can be agitating to the body. But Healy made it so that you can actually transfer the program to the Healy and literally turn off the Bluetooth and disconnect the app. So you don't have those agitating frequencies applied to your body while you are applying the harmonic frequencies. So you want to avoid that part, right? So you want to bring the positive, like the pretty garden stuff, not the not so pretty garden stuff. Yeah. So
I
you
get
want to look at what outweighs the benefits. Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, I don't know for you guys, but my Healy, if I vibrate for 8 hours throughout the night, it works without the charger.
Okay.
And yeah, so my Healy's now, so I've changed mine probably about 3 years ago, and upgraded to a new version. But it's 3 years old and it's still charging, and my battery is working really well. So I don't know, depending on how you're charging the Healy, that's how the battery will work as well. But my
Okay.
Healy works 8 hours without a problem. MagHealy, I always have it on my charger.
Okay.
Yeah. Hope
Thank
this
you so
answers
much.
the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Very well.
Okay.
So I was doing
No
the
worries.
mistake. So from today onwards, I'll correct it. Thank you so much for the information.
You can still do it. I'm not saying you can't, right? So just
Yeah.
maybe ask someone that's electrical engineer. Maybe they can give
Mm.
you more insight into that. I'm not that person. Sorry for that, but maybe they will clear up something for you. And if that is the opposite of what I told you, please let me know, because then I know
Sure.
and it's
Sure.
different, and then I can learn something new, which is good for me as well. So
Sure.
no worries.
Okay. So the
Perfect.
second question, last question would
Hmm.
be, when we do the analysis for a house, right, for the building. So
Yeah.
if it is a individual building or individual house, we can take that picture from outside. But if it is an apartment, then if
Yeah,
we
just
take the
take
picture
a
of an apartment, the all the houses in the apartment will be captured, right? So instead of that, can I get inside my apartment and take the like the
yeah.
living room picture, bedroom picture, kitchen
Yeah.
picture, and then put it as a group, and then I can put it in the building, right?
No, you won't be able to do that as a group. So group means just
No,
you are
group in the sense
scanning a,
I just need to
you can't,
collage it. I put it as a collage
if you
picture,
want to
and
do
then I
it,
can put it.
yes, you
Hmm.
can. But otherwise, you can also do the main space in the house, yeah, where
Okay.
there's most energy movement, and then
Mm.
just set an intention for your space. When
Okay.
you vibrate that frequency, when you're creating a profile, when you vibrate the frequency of the apartment, you can just set an intention with that picture. You can set an intention to actually have the full expression of the apartment, and the intention of what you want to be feeling in that apartment. Yeah. So you can get the positive expression of that apartment, not just what it's right now, with all the different energies. So then you
Okay.
can see the alignments. Yeah. So don't overcomplicate it. It's the intention is more important than anything else. The picture is
Okay.
just so it gets extra information, but your intention is always, like, I've scanned stuff, people, houses without the photo, and my intention literally brought spot on stuff. So
Beautiful.
it just have in mind, more information you put in, the more information you get out. Yeah. But
Okay.
if your intention is really, really clear, you can get a really good feedback. Yeah. So have in mind that you're still working with a quantum field. So don't
Sure.
limit yourself with the physical analysis. Yeah. So
Sure.
no worries.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Petra.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No worries. Okay, now that's enough. People have enough of me because we're like 2 hours in. Okay, thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, pop them into the Facebook group. There's a link somewhere in the chat. And of course, next week, Christy will be in. And we will see you in 2 weeks when we are in September. This last strike to the end of the year. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness, we are so far ahead. But otherwise, thank you for coming. Thank you for loving me. I love you all. And have a beautiful weekend. Big hugs. Bye bye.